Doesn't it feel good to be in person? Members of the class of 2022, President Mccullough, Interim Provost Ken Anderson, honored guests, friends and families of the graduates, faculty and administrators. Good morning and welcome to the commencement exercises of the Gonzaga Law School class of 2022. My name is Jacob Brooksby, and it is my honor to serve as Dean of Gonzaga Law School. And it is my pleasure to welcome you here to today's ceremony. We begin our program this morning by honoring our homeland ancestors, followed by an invocation and the singing of our national anthem. I ask that you please rise and remain standing through the anthem. In the spirit of the Jesuit practice of composition of place, we acknowledge that Gonzaga University resides on the homelands of the Spokane tribal people. The land our school occupies holds the cultural DNA and the spirit of the first people of the place, the people of the river. It is their ancestors who bring forth the power of the place, the knowledge that comes from the land. We are grateful to be on the land and ask for its support as we work to manifest our intentions during this gathering of hearts, minds, and spirits. And now I invite Law School Chaplain Father Brian Pham of the Society of Jesus to come forward to give the invocation.
Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, we give you thanks for our graduates who have gathered here to celebrate successfully completing their education at Gonzaga Law School. We give you thanks for the families and friends of our graduates, to the faculty and staff of our Gonzaga family, and to all who have supported our graduates these past few years as they learn how to put their passion into practice. As our graduates move on to the next stage of their lives, we ask your blessings upon them. In the spirit of St. Aloysius Gonzaga, we pray that our graduates may always be professional, competent, and compassionate. May they be loyal to their promises and responsive to this world's needs for social justice. May they be the voice for the voiceless. We pray that you give our graduates the inner strength, compassion, and conviction needed to make difficult and challenging decisions freely and responsibly. May they understand and apply their knowledge creatively and with integrity, and may they employ these skills critically and proactively. May our graduates understand that the option for justice and solidarity with and for others implies not just the rejection of violence, vengeance, and bigotry, but also a rejection of any kind of discriminations or divisions that dehumanizes our human family. As our graduates move into the next chapter of their journey, may they always be the embodiment of the spirits of gratitude, hope, and joy. And in the spirit of St. Ignatius of Loyola, may our graduates become men and women with and for others, thus transforming the world with a passion and faith that does justice. We bring these prayers to you, trusting in your love and mercy that you have given us. Through Christ our Lord, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's light? whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Father Pham, and thank you, Big Bang Theory, Gonzaga's own undergraduate a cappella group. Please be seated. To the class of 2022, your experience with us took twists and turns that no one could have predicted. Our three-year students entered on their journey in fall of 2019, when the world looked so different. We could not have predicted social distancing, PPE, Zoom, Omicron, Delta, Moderna, CDC guidelines, boosters, or any number of the other pandemic-related words that quickly entered our lexicon in 2020 and beyond. After such a challenging and disruptive spring in your 1L year, things started to look better over the summer, until they looked worse again. You experienced more acutely than most the ups and downs, the everyday joys and challenges that life during the pandemic brought for us all. Amidst this context, you were knee-deep in learning, pursuing likely the most challenging educational program of your lifetime. You learned that black and white law is not so black and white. You learn that human attributes and differences outside the four corners of the Constitution, the case, the contract, or the casebook often go unacknowledged, yet have a major impact on conflict resolution and what gets labeled as justice. You learn that the American experiment in democracy is fragile, but fundamentally rooted in law, the respect for which is vital to protecting our future. And most importantly, you learn that to hunger and thirst after justice is not just a commitment, but rather a calling for those like you who are entering the legal profession. On behalf of the university and the law school, I congratulate everyone receiving their Juris Doctor degree today. During your time with us, you have demonstrated creativity and resilience. You have made lifelong friends and mentors, forged through shared hardship and happiness. We are thankful for you. Our expectation is that your professional lives will lend help and hope to those who need it. The fact is, the world needs you, and we believe in your ability to make it a better place. If COVID has taught us anything, it is to embrace the gift of each new day. In the words of poet Henri Frédéric Amiel, life is short. We have too little time to gladden the hearts of those who travel the way with us. So, be swift to love and make haste to be kind. In that spirit, let us now recognize all the family and friends with us here today, as well as those who could not gather with us here in person. For those who are part of your personal and professional growth, including our faculty and staff, let's give thanks for their encouragement and sacrifices. It is now my honor to introduce to you a great friend of the law school, our wonderful leader of the university, our president, Dr. Thane Mccullough.
Good morning. I want to take just a moment to take in this moment, all that has happened over these last years, and recognize what an incredible achievement we celebrate with your commencement today. Provost Ken Anderson, Dean Rooksby, distinguished honoree, former Washington Attorney General and Governor Christine Gregoire, today's commencement keynote speaker, Gloria Navares, faculty speaker, Professor Inga, Laurent, and student speaker, Chloe Sykes, members of the faculty, staff, and administrators, honored family members, and special guests, but especially you, the graduates of Gonzaga's School of Law class of 2022. What a privilege it is to be with you today. Before we begin your well-deserved celebrations, however, let's take a moment to remember and to celebrate those who have been mom for us. In honor of all moms, I would like to ask all the mothers here today to please rise and let us recognize you on this Mother's Day weekend. Today is a day for reflection, for giving thanks, and for celebrating, for all of us. To you, the graduates of the class of 2022, we recognize the remarkable achievements that have led to the granting of your law degrees. Think back, if you will, to 3 years ago. Some of you entered law school immediately following your undergraduate studies, but some of you did so having first spent time entering the professional world and gaining hands-on practical experience. The differences from when you began your studies to where you are today is nothing short of remarkable. While the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic were not what any of us would have wanted or hoped for, it is important, I think, not to let the challenges that we faced define the entirety of our experience. During that time, just as you always have, you exemplified what it means to be a ZAG, taking on the seemingly insurmountable challenges with understanding and with grace. On behalf of all of us here at Gonzaga, thank you. Thank you for your willingness and dedication to finish out your career as Gonzaga students with such fortitude. It was nothing short of extraordinary to witness firsthand how tremendously courageous our students have been in the face of circumstances that none of us have ever borne witness to before. Today, many of you are joined by family and friends and other loved ones who may be watching from afar. They know better than most what sacrifices you have made to get to this point in your life and your career, and we are so proud and thankful to be able to celebrate with you all in person today. You may be aware that I am myself a proud alumnus of Gonzaga, someone who takes immense pride in the educational experiences afforded to me as an undergraduate. The depth and the breadth of my undergraduate experience prepared me well for the academic rigors of my graduate program. But I must admit to you today that I look back on my time in graduate school as one of the most trying periods of my adult life. Acknowledging the practical reality that I was pursuing my graduate studies in a foreign country, I clearly remember the frustrations which came with having to constantly juggle time for my studies and research with the demands of family, an often unfulfilled desire to maintain friendships, and working as well to make ends meet. While the details may be different for each of you, I have no doubt that you have experienced similar struggles, frustrations, and moments of experienced failure along the path of your own lives and educational journey. Of course, this experienced reality not only makes today's accomplishment a sweeter celebration, but it underscores the point that achievement is measured in no small part by the nature of the adversity one has endured along the way. Indeed, if your education at Gonzaga has been truly successful, you now understand at a deeper level that learning often emerges from situations and opportunities we might least expect. In fact, I am certain the application of your learning in your personal, professional, and communal lives will be most fruitfully applied in the least predictable of occasions, times, and places. Graduations mark transitions, and that means change. And change can be exciting, but it can also be uncomfortable. But graduations are, at their heart, also about hope. You, our graduates, will go forth today with the unquenchable hope that emerges from the practical tools that make you competent and capable, the innovative thoughts that will solve real problems, and the human and humane values that will sustain you in times of difficulty. The Jesuit concept of the magis, the even more, that which makes things add up to more than the sum of their parts, it can only exist in the context of hope, because without it, doing more, being more, creating more is simply not achievable. The Jesuit tradition insists that we be people of hope, bringers of hope to a flawed world. Hope is what makes imagining a better future possible. You, our graduates, are the ones who will define the future we will all experience and share. And so on this day, you fill us with hope, and that alone is worthy of celebration. It is with sincere appreciation for the sacrifices you and those who love and have supported you have made that I join with my colleagues in congratulating you. You have been a gift to us, you inspire us, and we are grateful to have been with you on this part of your journey. It has indeed been my honor to serve as your president, for it allows me this day on behalf of the entire Gonzaga University community and family to wish you all the best and Godspeed. Congratulations to you, the class of 2022.
Thank you, Dr. Mccullough. Will Interim Provost Ken Anderson please come forward? Each year, we confer the Dean's Academic Achievement Award on a student who has demonstrated exceptional academic performance and has achieved the highest cumulative grade point average during his or her studies. This year's recipient of the Academic Achievement Award is Carly Johnson. Carly served as managing editor of the 57th volume of Gonzaga Law Review and worked as a legal intern for the City Attorney's Office for Spokane Valley. Carly will spend the next year clerking for the Honorable Deborah Stevens on the Washington State Supreme Court and hopes to continue in local government, working for either the Washington State Legislature or in a city attorney's office. Congratulations, Carly. The Pro Bono Distinction Program recognizes the volunteer service provided by our students. Members of this year's graduating class reported 5,218 pro bono distinction hours during their years in law school, and we have a suspicion that there were many more hours worked but not reported. This year, the Dean's Pro Bono Award of Distinction goes to Seyad Muradbegovich. Welcomed as a refugee in August 2000, Seyad grew up in Twin Falls, Idaho. Before law school, he ran as the youngest state legislative candidate in Idaho's 2018 midterm elections and received recognition for his youth activism. He plans to work with the Spokane County Public Defender's Office this fall. Congratulations, Seyad. Gonzaga Law School thrives because of the dedication of its faculty and staff. The Staff Excellence Award was established to recognize the achievements of a staff colleague with exceptional work performance who demonstrates commitment to Gonzaga and expresses enthusiasm and a positive attitude in interactions with coworkers, faculty, students, and the community. It is my honor to bestow the Gonzaga Law School Staff Excellence Award to Vicki Daniels. Vicki served with distinction as a program coordinator in the faculty suite for 14 years before agreeing to take on the program coordinator role in the SEAL Division earlier this year. As her nominators observed, she effectively had 2 full-time jobs during this time, managing competing demands and constituencies, all with graciousness and unflappability. In addition, her ongoing work in coordinating Linen Cup keeps the competition going year after year. As student Emily Martin wrote, on behalf of several others, Vicki stayed late into the night every day just to make sure the competition ran smoothly. All the while, she was a beacon of positivity and encouraged the Linen Cup Committee to do its very best. Vicki, on behalf of a grateful faculty, staff, and student body, I am delighted to recognize you as this year's winner of the Staff Excellence Award. Will the Honorable Christine Gregoire please come forward?
The Gonzaga Law Medal is bestowed by the School of Law upon deserving individuals who have distinguished themselves in the service of justice. This year, the Law Medal is awarded to Christine Gregoire. In 1962, on the occasion of Gonzaga University School of Law's 50th anniversary, the university's Board of Trustees authorized the first presentation of the Gonzaga Law Medal for the purpose of calling to the attention of our alumni students the exemplary contributions to the legal profession in keeping with the mission of Gonzaga University. Today, Gonzaga University School of Law is pleased to recognize Christine Gregoire for her exceptional commitment and service to justice. Christine Gregoire attended the University of Washington before moving to Spokane to pursue her law degree at Gonzaga University. Upon graduation, she became an assistant attorney general in the Washington State Attorney General's office. She went on to serve 4 years as the director of the State Department of Ecology. In 1992, Gregoire was elected Attorney General for the state, a position that she held for 3 terms, and in 2005, she became the 22nd governor of the state of Washington and the state's 2nd female governor. She currently serves as CEO of Challenge Seattle and is also a member and former chair of the Fred Hutch Cancer Research Center and a member of the National Bipartisan Governors Council. Would you please join me in congratulating and welcoming back to Gonzaga University and the School of Law, the Honorable Christine Gregoire.
Well, good morning, everyone. President Mccullough, Dean Rooksby, faculty, staff, our graduates, family, and friends, I am delighted to join you in person for commencement, to say congratulations to each and every one of you. I can't tell you how excited I am for you. It brings back fond memories, and your future is so bright, and we need you so much. But I'm also here to thank each and every one of you who have stood by these graduates, family, and friends. Thank you for all that you have done to make this day possible. I'm honored to receive the Law Medal from my alma mater. Serving justice is a calling for all law school graduates, but equipping graduates with the moral compass to do it well is what Gonzaga does. Commencement is a celebration of a new beginning. With it, you will find lots of advice, decisions, opportunities, and of course, the bar exam. My only advice on that thing is you do not want to have to do it again. I see a law degree from Gonzaga as both reward and gift. The reward you earned, of course, yourselves, by your hard work, by your late nights, by your endurance and mastering of the ups and downs of not just law school, but law school during COVID. The gift to you is the opportunity to make things better now in the future. I'd like to highlight 2 opportunities for you graduates, and while both are calls for lifelong work, one is an actual national crisis in our country today. First, you have the opportunity, if not the calling, to preserve and protect the First Amendment as it is under attack and in crisis in our country. Too often, we are seeing violence to stop speech or to shout down speakers or other means to prevent people with whom we disagree from talking. All too often, this is happening at the center of the very institutions whose mission it is to foster inquiry and diversity of thought. Those are our higher education institutions, and most particularly, our law schools. During my lifetime, I've seen a period in which there was a movement to silence the left. And now, I see in my lifetime a movement to silence the right. Neither should be silenced for the health of our nation and the institutions of higher education. As lawyers, we know the First Amendment protects speech, no matter how offensive its content, that some may find vile, hateful, deliberately provocative, or even patently false. We know there is a line to be drawn when it comes to being threatening, to harassment or hostility, but that is a very high bar. In law school, we are trained to prepare and argue our case. And when it's done best, it is done when we know the words, the actions, and even the thinking of the other client as well as opposing counsel. Thus, it is time for all of us to put our legal training to work and to provide much-needed leadership to protect the First Amendment freedom of speech and our democracy. Who is better prepared to do that than you? Key to meaningful civic participation and the advancement of democracy is understanding and respecting the diverse experiences, viewpoints, and opinions of others. We need your leadership on this. We need you to protect free speech, both in the practice of law and as an engaged citizen. Secondly, you have the opportunity and the calling to give back as a member of the legal profession. You can do it by serving in public sector or the nonprofit sector, or through the private sector through pro bono work or volunteerism. The needs out there are great, and we all know we are called to serve justice. That means ensuring everyone has effective legal representation, no matter their pocketbook. Unpopular cases, defendants, policies, and actions are entitled to representation. Giving back is more than a responsibility. You will be rewarded by simply knowing that you have served justice. Just ask the recipient of the Dean's Pro Bono Award of Distinction. From my experience, when you give, you get more in return. When I am asked, what is the most important or proudest accomplishment of my career, I like to share this story. It was about 1980, and I was a fairly young assistant attorney general in the Spokane Attorney General's office. My job was to protect children from abuse and neglect. I was assigned a very tragic case of an infant who had been beaten by her biological father while the mother stood by. The child was placed in foster care while the case worked its way through the court system. Eventually, the child was freed for adoption, and the foster parents adopted her. At that point, I could no longer have any contact with the child or the family. Years later, when I was serving as Attorney General, I received a letter from the child's mom. She shared that the child was about to graduate from Eastern with a degree in social work. She was intending to go to law school because, in her words, she wanted to be just like me so she could do exactly what I had done. That's what I mean when I say you get multiples back than anything you may give. My decision to go to law school was based on the calling of President John F. Kennedy to service. A noble calling, said he. I was inspired to make the world a better place and decided that the best way for me to do that was through the practice of law. I have never regretted for a day the decision to attend Gonzaga Law and become a lawyer. Thank you again for this honor. I am proud to be an alum of Gonzaga with you, and I am thankful for the training, the opportunities, and the calling it gave me to serve justice. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Please go forth, serve justice. Please protect our Constitution and our First Amendment, and please give back. I know the legal profession and our legal system is better in your hands. And by the way, good luck on your bar exam.
Thank you, Governor Gregoire. Will Gloria Navares please join Dr. Mccullough and Interim Provost Anderson at center stage? Gloria Navares attended the University of Massachusetts, where she was a scholarship recipient and student athlete in basketball. She graduated with a BS in sports management and received her Juris Doctor from the University of California, Berkeley. After practicing law, Navares was hired as the first full-time director of compliance for athletics at San Jose State University. Navares served as the assistant athletics director of compliance and legal affairs and the interim senior woman administrator at the University of California, Berkeley. While there, Navares began a term as the associate commissioner and senior woman administrator for the West Coast Conference for the next 5 years. In 2007, Navares was named Senior Associate Athletics Director and Senior Woman Administrator at the University of Oklahoma. In 2010, Navares was named Senior Associate Commissioner and Senior Woman Administrator of the Pac-12 Conference. In March of 2018, the West Coast Conference President's Council selected Navares as the 4th full-time commissioner to serve the West Coast Conference, and she is one of 9 female conference commissioners currently serving in Division I athletics. She is also the first Latin American to ascend to the commissioner's chair in Division I. In recognition of her exceptional professional achievements and commitment to justice, Gonzaga University proudly bestows on Gloria Navares the degree Doctor of Laws. Congratulations.
Good morning, graduates. First off, I want to thank Dean Rooksby and President Mccullough for inviting me to speak with you today. I got to admit, I'm really excited to be here. However, I will say this, as your conference commissioner, this is about the only situation I'd be okay with being in a room full of Gonzaga lawyers. No matter what has brought me to Gonzaga in the past, be it a sporting event or a meeting, I've always felt instantly at home every time I step on this campus and enter the kennel. I credit the amazing leadership at this university and the warm and inviting students who have made this campus their home. I can't think of another place that can match your unerring consistency of culture. You've always made me feel like a zag, and that is truly an honor. Since this is law school commencement at such a distinguished learning institution, I thought I would bring a sophisticated teaching tool to my address today: crayons. In my hand, I have 2 crayons, one black and one white. I am willing to bet that anyone asked to draw a picture of the vivid scene before us today would fail to capture the moment with just these 2 colors. Even on my best day, I could probably only manage a few boring stick figures. Like law and like life, things can sometimes feel as if they are either black or white. You can be for something, you could be against something, right, left, good, bad, vanilla, chocolate. However, if there's one thing I've learned in my career to this point, it's that nothing in life is black or white. Instead, you must consider the incredible array of colors available to you as you paint your pictures and live your life. I suggest daring to color outside the lines. If I hadn't done that in my career, I probably wouldn't be standing here today. Instead, I worked with something a little more like this. 154 colors. It's the biggest box they had on Amazon. To paint the story of a life lived. These colors represent the different pathways, decisions, options, and more importantly, opportunities. Opportunity never came easy for me, but maybe it was because I've always had a little bit of that imposter syndrome. I'm half Mexican, a 4th Filipino, and a 4th Irish, but I didn't learn Spanish growing up. And in fact, I had a bowl cut, which, by the way, was in the 70s. And I played sports, which meant I was often mistook for a boy. And by the time I got to law school, I certainly had the credentials to justify being a lawyer in training. However, every time I looked at my classmates with more affluent origins, I realized my public school background was just less than. My law school colleagues, impressed with national awards in debate and scholarly achievements, I played sports. My classmates had traveled the world and worked with famous politicians and lawyers. I played sports. And my accomplishments in sports, which weren't many, didn't compare to the academic accolades of my law school classmates. And that critical inner voice was just still in the background. Even at graduation, sitting in the same seat you are today, I still felt like I did on that first day of college basketball practice at UMass, wondering if I really belonged. On paper, I should have felt more confident. I had my degree, I was about to go to work for a prestigious firm in San Francisco, black and white. But I couldn't shake this yearning that there were more shades of color to explore, other paths to be taken. Having played 4 years of college basketball, sports was always in my blood. Bill Russell, the original GOAT, had a quote that always stuck with me. He said, "You can do anything you want to do if you want it bad enough." Meaning, if you don't want something really bad, you should seriously weigh the risks of continuing to invest in the path you're on. So with that in mind, I did what any sensible law graduate would do with a mountain of debt, student loan debt. I quit my job at the big litigation firm, took a 50% pay cut, and did what felt like the unthinkable at the time. I started a career in college sports. It was not easy. It was not comfortable, but I knew my interest and energy was always in sports. Fast forward a few years and thousands of underpaid hours later, I find myself at the head table, commissioner of the West Coast Conference. Now, to many of you, the word commissioner may sound like this all-powerful role, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. A commissioner is only as powerful as he or she is persuasive. I can stand up, pound the table, advocate till I'm red in the face, but at the end of the day, the leaders of this school and the others in the WCC are going to make their own decisions in the best interest of their institutions because that's their job. But that's when I get to put on my lawyer hat. I get to litigate, to debate, and ultimately build consensus. Even though I didn't pursue the path to be a trial lawyer, I'm still trying to convince a jury every day. Oftentimes, it's convincing people who may have black and white viewpoints to agree on a color in between. That's how we get schools like BYU and Pepperdine to agree with the likes of USF and LMU. That's how the WCC adopts groundbreaking hiring commitments like the Russell Rule, designed to diversify the administration and coaches who serve the student athletes of the West Coast Conference. Imagine the different perspectives, agendas, and concerns each of our 10 institutions wrestle with in developing policies that work for everyone. In crafting and adopting policy, we use just about every color in the crayon box, including several that were honed in law school. Okay, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up Gonzaga Basketball. What the nation loves about Gonzaga and its fans is how different you are from the accepted model. Media pundits like to use the term blue blood as a moniker of privilege for schools like Duke and UCLA, but that's language from an old world of black and white. Gonzaga, on the other hand, always seemed to color outside the lines, disrupting every establishment and tradition, every step of the way. If you're anything like the Zags I've known in my life, you'll bring the same colorful disruption as lawyers to a legal system that is always in need of more vibrance. To close, let me say that the colors in this crayon box surely represent all the different places you can go and decisions you can make in your life. And they also symbolize the people sitting beside you, around you, and on the stage. If life teaches us anything, it's that painting the perfect picture is not a solo act. Instead, it requires the help and support of all the colors in your palette, all the supporters in your corner. They are your team. Just like an amazing athlete, you're only as good as the team around you. You are uniquely blessed by some combination of incredible classmates, supportive teachers, and loving families. And now you have a conference commissioner rooting for you as well. So as you embark on your careers, I encourage you to lean on them and utilize them wisely. As you do, keep in mind your appreciation for the beauty and array of colors they bring to your life. As you go out into the world, I invite you to look past binary choices. the black and white solutions first offered, and take risk of embracing the nuance. It may not be as safe as just using the black and white crayons, but the richness revealed by such an approach will bring you greater professional satisfaction and ultimately will make the world a better place. If you ask me, that is a picture worth painting. I want to end on a personal note. I know how you feel right now because I've been in that chair. Whatever fears and anxieties you may have, don't worry. Instead, find what you love. Work hard, care deeply, and you'll be fine. I can't wait to see the incredible impact you'll have on the world as you lead brilliantly colored lives. May you always color outside the lines. Go Zags.
Thank you, Gloria. Each year, the graduating class selects a student speaker. This year's speaker is Chloe Sykes. Chloe attended the University of Oregon, where she obtained a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with minors in economics and psychology. While at Gonzaga Law, she worked as a Smitty Teaching Fellow, mentoring first-year law students. She was secretary and is current president of the Black Law Students Association and a member of the Multicultural Law Caucus and Women's Law Caucus. Additionally, Chloe spent time working on Gonzaga's low-income tax clinic and for the state senate. Chloe will sit for the California bar exam in July of 2022, and she hopes to pursue work as in-house counsel. Welcome, Chloe.
You all look so amazing. Well, we did it. It's insane how it feels like 1L year was last week, but also feels like it's been absolute ages since our very first day. I just want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to be up here and speak. Fun fact, one of my biggest fears is public speaking. I cannot express the sheer terror that would run through my body when tasked with doing an oral argument. But this is different. This is me sharing my experience here, our collective experience as a class, and sharing feelings that I hope resonate with you all as well. Let's get into it. I've wanted to be a lawyer for as long as I can remember. I always went back and forth with what type of law I wanted to practice and what type of lawyer I wanted to be. Unfortunately, I couldn't decide until right before 3L year started, and boy was that a roller coaster. It took all sorts of classes, experiences, advice from professors and attorneys for me to finally land on something I saw myself doing and had an interest in. There was a time I thought I wasn't meant to be here, to be a lawyer. I felt I wasn't smart enough and questioned how I even ended up here. Imposter syndrome is a very real thing in law school, and it can really impact how we perceive ourselves compared to others. What I overlooked during my downward spiral of thinking law school isn't for me is that this isn't the traditional law school experience. We've had our entire law school career turned upside down. We attended school during a global pandemic and were forced to adapt to online learning, to navigate law school and internships remotely. We had to confront a whole host of new issues that affected us physically, mentally, and emotionally. Zoom exhaustion or burnout, isolation from classmates, even loved ones. We did it, but as I like to say, at what cost? I'd like to talk a bit about the realities of law school. I'm sure everyone here has heard about how law students don't have much free time. We're overloaded with the amount of schoolwork. Every time we breathe, it costs $20. Yes, we struggle. We struggle with all of that and more. Stress affects people in a lot of ways. There have been plenty of breakdowns through my 3 years here. I've had my fair share of crying sessions and contemplating what I can do as a backup plan. My own insecurity with not knowing what I'm doing and what my future holds would get the best of me. Will I get an internship? Will I get a job? Will I pass this class? Will I pass the bar? These are some realities I think are a shared experience amongst most of my class. But there are some realities that many of my classmates do not face or experience as deeply as myself, a person of color. That reality is discussing how our justice system is broken and disproportionately impacts communities of color, especially Black and brown communities, while simultaneously listening to statements being made suggesting that these realities are not the result of our legal system, nor are they embedded within it. Myself and fellow students of color have sat and listened to these statements that undermine the systemic nature of our judicial system. But the issues of race are deeply rooted in our legal system. The residual effects of historical racial events are very much present today. As stated by the Washington State Supreme Court, the devaluation and degradation of Black lives is not a recent event. It is a persistent and systemic injustice that predates this nation's founding. The legal community must recognize that we all bear responsibility for this ongoing injustice, and that we are capable of taking steps to address it if only we have the courage and the will. And I agree. I have worked personally with faculty and administration on ways to incorporate critical race theory and implicit bias into the curriculum, as well as ways for professors to combat prejudice in the classroom. It's not my job to do this. Let me repeat myself. It is not my job, nor any student of color's job, to fix the issues of bias and racism that occur on campus. However, I offer my help because I've witnessed and experienced these issues firsthand. I come to school to learn, not to hear slurs being used. That last part is tough, right? And uncomfortable? Well, for some of you, this uncomfortable feeling is temporary, but for individuals like myself, that feeling of discomfort doesn't go away. It lingers with us in our day-to-day lives. These are personal struggles I have experienced during my time at Gonzaga Law, but let's talk about the people who support us through those struggles. Thank you to all the family, friends, professors, and loved ones who have helped us along the way. Thank you to my family, who do everything they possibly can to make sure I get to live my dream of becoming a lawyer. To Omar, I cannot thank you enough for keeping me happy, healthy, and grounded. To my non-law school friends, sorry for not texting back, but I love you nonetheless. We've created our very own support systems with each other, and for that, I am so grateful. To my support systems here at the law school, boy, do I owe you a lot. First of all, thank you for sharing your pets with me. T'Challa, Tuck, Prince, Ollie, and Rue. Thank you for dragging me out of my apartment to do anything and everything. The movie nights, happy hours, quality time, and video games. There's nothing quite like Xavier yelling into the headset that if he dies one more time, he's leaving the game. Furthermore, thank you for always being in my corner. My BOLSA board members are some of my biggest advocates, and I wouldn't be here without them. I wouldn't be here without a lot of you sitting in front of me and behind me. There's something so special about having a professor that sees the potential in you, sets you up to succeed, and always has your best interests at heart. And I found those professors here. As for my classmates, I know we had to make up for lost time due to being remote and hybrid, but I've truly enjoyed reconnecting with so many of you. Every interaction and conversation has taught me so much, and I'm thankful for it. I mean, after one conversation with Jojo, you'll learn that Cali is the best state. When I look at all of you, I see more than future lawyers. I see future educators, artists, authors, lobbyists, and so much more. I see people who, regardless of the stresses of law school, take the time to celebrate amazing milestones. We've had engagements, marriages, job offers, new pets, and classmates who have become first-time parents. And we share these moments with each other. I know that we've all found lifelong friends here, and that is just so special. So let's enjoy this special moment right now. We've worked incredibly hard to get to this moment right here. And we will continue to work hard to pass the bar, pursue our passions, and be the best versions of ourselves. I leave you with this quote from the iconic Elle Woods. You must always have faith in people, and most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
Thank you, Chloe. The members of the class of 2022 also elect a faculty member to speak to them. This year, it is Professor Inga Laurent. Professor Laurent received a BA from Westminster College and her Juris Doctor from Cleveland Marshall College of Law. She joined Gonzaga Law in 2010. Her main area of focus centers on analyzing and reimagining our current criminal legal system. She returned to the faculty in fall of 2017 after spending 9 months researching restorative justice in Kingston, Jamaica, as a Fulbright scholar. In the classroom, Professor Laurent's goal is to prepare students for the challenges and opportunities that will be present as they enter the profession, equipping them with tools for honest and critical assessments of our systems and ourselves. Professor Laurent is engaged in advocating for criminal justice and legal education reform, as she believes we need innovative and equitable models to better address the shifting needs present in our evolving societies. Welcome, Professor Laurent.
To be a good lawyer, one has to be a healthy lawyer. The American Bar Association's report from the National Task Force on Lawyer Well-Being continues stating this: Sadly, our profession is falling short when it comes to well-being. Multiple studies have revealed that too many lawyers and law students experience chronic stress and high rates of depression and substance abuse. These findings are incompatible with a sustainable legal profession, and they raise troubling implications. This research suggests that the current state of lawyers' health cannot support a profession dedicated to client service and dependent on public trust. Now, this news may be less than ideal as you sit here today about to enter our profession. But I chose to begin here with these rather sobering words, not to dampen dismay, cause dissonance or doubt on this most auspicious day, but because the truth is what I owe you. As my students, my future colleagues, and my fellow humans, I am bound to speak with you honestly about the range of possibilities existing within this extraordinarily crucial profession. Right now, there are a little over 1.3 million practicing attorneys, and while that number may sound large, it makes up less than 0.36% of the entire US population. That is how few of us there are, and that is how significant you will be. With this opportunity, there is unlimited potential, the chance to have an expansive, enlivening, exhilarating career. And so does the potential exist for something less fulfilling. And so I chose to share this information with you because I respect your agency and your autonomy, and because I trust you with the truth. I believe that we all have the right to be entrusted with a full and precise picture, information that allows us to accurately assess our situations and to choose the outcomes that make the best and most sense for our lives. And I have no doubt in any of you. I have watched you flourish, becoming more complex versions of your former selves, growing from halting and uncertain in those first weeks of orientation and classes into more confident, articulate, deep, and nuanced thinkers. Taking on roles serious in your responsibility to foster client and societal well-being through countless internships, externships, clinics, and through volunteering. I have been a witness watching you sign up to join the clubs and organizations that you now lead. I am immensely proud of you, filled with the faith of your capacity, ability, and every ounce of tenacity that you employed to bring this moment into fruition. You have already shown all of us that you can face challenges and rise to the occasion. So with all that background and context, I have just one rule with surprisingly very few exceptions that I will ask you to consider making a cornerstone of your professional career and personal creed: fidelity to veracity. Now, I understand that this is neither an insignificant nor an inconsequential request. It's a deceptively simple invitation, far easier to abide by in theory and less so in practice. There will be times when it will be much easier to tell half or partial or technical truths, when a version, a sliver, a speck of reality will seem sufficient. Inherent within this self-regulating profession, occasions to be disingenuous either intentionally or through willful ignorance are replete. But I must ask you to be honest. Be honest with your clients, colleagues, the judiciary, and those who you encounter professionally. Admit when you are wrong or when you're uncertain and seek assistance. You are still learning, and so this will be quite natural. And if you have your own bad news that you need to deliver to a client, please do not delay, neglect, or evade your obligation to convey it. Refuse to ignore, sugarcoat, disregard, whitewash, or gloss over reality, especially when a reality will deeply impact another. Avoidance is what so often creates additional trouble. Yes, facing things head on is hard, but you have already shown us that you can do hard things. And remember this as well. We do not control others or the facts that clients bring to us. We cannot ultimately influence the tactics or strategies that opposing counsel use, unless you're the judge, which no doubt some of you in this room will be. We also don't write the decisions, and we don't dictate the outcomes. All of that is beyond the scope of your own power. The antidote to this intrinsic insecurity, to this uncertainty, pervasive in this profession, has never been perfection, but merely a commitment to accountability. I must also ask that you be honest with your circles, your family, your friends, your community of supporters. Take a look at this coalition of folks assembled here to celebrate you today. We are here for you, for all of you, both the put-together versions and the messier ones. Practice radical candor with the people you love. Don't just tell a piece of your story, tell it all, your side, your perspective, your history, and your feelings. For there is nothing so gorgeous as a soul draped in its authenticity. Build and nurture healthy, open, communicative, caring relationships and habits that will buoy you amidst the inevitable storms that will arise from this vocation where we take on other people's problems. And finally, I must ask that you be honest with yourselves. You will make mistakes, so own them. Examine your role and reflect, address them, find ways to be more generative and forward-looking in the future. When you are tired, acknowledge your exhaustion and prioritize rest. When you are overextended, exert healthy boundaries. Learn about yourself, investigate the places where your natural aptitude and skill easily meet the demand and needs of others, and practice there. And if you are sad, in those moments that life hands us some blows and causes us some losses, a job, a motion, an opportunity, a promotion, an important case, or worse yet, when we lose one of our supporters, give yourself time to grieve. I admit that grief is one of the hardest realities to acknowledge. But sadness exists for a good reason. Sorrow is part of the price that we pay for being human and for caring about one another. So now it's time for me to put my own rule into action and to tell you that I am immensely proud of you and I am also grieving. This is the bittersweet moment when we, your faculty, must let you go. Our final farewell, where we send you off solely with the knowledge that you have worked so hard to accumulate over the years. We will miss you and this special community that we have managed to build together throughout a tumultuous few years. So remember, in striving for and in speaking truth, you make a commitment to bettering this profession and your personal lives. With every step that you take toward that promise, you create a foundation for integrity. And that is the way that we will transcend those statistics. That's how we'll make our practices more sustainable and manageable. It's how we'll eradicate those troubling implications, and it's how we'll transform this profession and our personal lives into something to be perpetually proud of. In striving for and in speaking truth, we will collectively reconstitute a clearer concept of justice together. It is how we will set ourselves and each other free. Because this is what we owe to one another.
Thank you, Professor Laurent. Well, we are almost to that moment you all have been eagerly awaiting, the conferral of degrees. The years have passed, exams are over, and the celebrations are about to begin. Our faculty has pushed you to learn and to grow, and I have no doubt that they have prepared you to be excellent lawyers. Please stay in touch with them. Please stay in touch with us. We are elated that you're at the finish line, but we are sad to see you go. Now, things are about to get serious. It's time to make this official. On behalf of the faculty, the administration, and the authority vested in Gonzaga University by the state of Washington, I am pleased to present candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. Associate Dean Kim Pearson will read the names of candidates from A to K, and those graduates will be hooded by President Mccullough and Professor Laurent. Associate Dean Agnieszka McPeak will read the names of the candidates L through Z, and those candidates will be hooded by Interim Provost Ken Anderson and Professor Patrick Charles.
Madison Aguirre. James Grant Labar. I'll take it. Timothy D. Allen. Danny Ladoni, cum laude. Sterling K. Arnold. Mackenzie Lloyd. Danielle Avery. Emma Joy Long. Andrew John D. Barron, cum laude. Yahaira Lujano. Kira Bennett. Maggie Lukens, summa cum laude. Brianna Lynn Bledsoe.
Angela Mabry, magna cum laude.
Olivia Bloom, magna cum laude.
Logan Macy.
Sofia Isabella Inez de Simone Bomar.
Catherine Louise McCoy.
Sarah Jane Boyle.
Catherine Grace McGrath, cum laude.
Austin James Brown.
Michael Connor McKeegan, magna cum laude.
Alexandria Ann Burgett.
Kira Maria Melville.
That's me.
Michael Burnett.
Brooke Merkel, magna cum laude.
Megan Kane.
Sayad Muradbegovic.
Cody Cash, cum laude.
Sydney Wynn, cum laude.
Sienna Marie Chastain.
Christine Nishigaya, cum laude.
Olivia Clark.
Catherine Robinson Olivier, cum laude.
Daniel Clemens.
Sierra Lucia Paula, summa cum laude.
Taylor and Nicole Koffel.
Chelsea Elizabeth Parker.
Nicholas Antonio Cortez.
Cade Peterson.
Jasper Coulter.
Jared Pennyman, cum laude.
Ella Lynn Crowder.
Michael Petrogallo.
Josh Cuevas.
Chelsea Rain Phelps.
Caroline Elizabeth David.
Maxim Poudriere Tudan.
Joshua Decker, cum laude.
Dallin Peterson.
Grant Denny.
Kelsey Gwen Prestisator.
Isabella Kathleen Dominguez.
Cody Putzier.
Brielle Marie Douglas, cum laude.
Virginia A. Ramos.
Bryce Anthony Dumais, magna cum laude.
Bailey Raquel Reese.
Margarita Esquivel Torres.
Julia A. Reese, cum laude.
Jacob Gray Estes.
Abigail Riley.
Samuel J. Fenton, summa cum laude.
Carly Christina Roberts, magna cum laude.
Laura Findley.
Elena Ann Rogers.
Raya L. Fishman.
Megan Roll.
Peyton Brooke Fof.
Jake Runke.
Sarah Elizabeth Fortier, magna cum laude.
Jacob Salazar.
Xavier Fox.
David Salgado, magna cum laude.
Emily Gans.
Nathan Schaefer.
Sarah Geringer.
Taryn E. Shallow, cum laude.
Wesley Groot.
Jacob Schmidt, cum laude.
Chloe Grundmeyer.
Carissa Schaefer, cum laude.
Gregory Philip Halverson.
Chloe Patricia Shea.
Bailey Hampton.
Pierce B. Shivers.
Joshua Hanners.
Mackenzie Jordan Small.
Andrew Havens.
Emmeline Francis Smith.
Marthy Hernandez.
Matthew Sonaby, cum laude.
Cassandra Antonia Hughes, summa cum laude.
Isaac Stacy.
Delaney Jacobson.
Matt Stuckey.
Erin Renee Jacoby, magna cum laude.
Susan Straka.
Samantha Jennings.
Tyree Strong, magna cum laude.
Claire Jensen.
Jennifer Michelle Stewart, cum laude.
Samantha Louise Jetton, summa cum laude.
Chloe Sykes.
Alicia Johnson.
Thor Rold Tangvald II.
Carly Johnson, summa cum laude.
Travis Elway Tim, summa cum laude.
Andre Khoury.
Sarah Elizabeth Votney, cum laude.
Margaret Maxwell Knudsen.
Annalise Vickerman.
Isadora Kostick.
Neil Wagner, magna cum laude.
Matt Crystal.
Eric Sean Weaver. Josh Weistanner. Javon Wiggins. Aaron Anthony Winder. Justine Yarrington, magna cum laude.
Congratulations, class of 2022. You may now move your tassel to the left. President Mccullough, Interim Provost Anderson, and honored guests, it is my honor to present to you the graduating class of 2022. Everyone, please stand for the benediction offered by Father Pham. At the conclusion of the benediction, please wait for the platform party and the graduates to exit before you do. Then please join us for a reception at the law school immediately following this ceremony as we toast our new graduates.
Let us pray. As your classes and exams are now completed, may you strive towards excellence in all you do. As the speeches conclude, may your voices rise up to pronounce justice and peace to the world. As the fanfare ceases, may you sing of joy, even in the dark and lonely places. As the applause quiets, may you celebrate and lift up those around you. As you graduate today, may your achievements grow and cause growth in your communities. And may we all know of the overwhelming blessings of our God. And may everything we do for the greater glory of his name. Amen.